One of South Africa's most well-known politicians is a woman who was fired. A woman who stood up for what she believed in, no matter the consequences. When placed in a position of public office, you're required to act with impeccability and conscience, holding the good of the nation as your highest priority. This is what faced former Deputy Minister of Defence and Deputy Minister of Health, Nozizwe Madlala-Routledge, a stalwart of the struggle and women's movement, and someone who has had to take multiple leaps of faith to stay true to her values.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Nozizwe?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Thank you for meeting. I just walked past your former office.
Yes. Which one? Oh, at Parliament?
Yes.
I had a lovely office. I actually enjoyed looking out and seeing people walking up and down Government Avenue.
When you were Deputy Speaker?
Yes, when I was Deputy Speaker.
In those few moments when you had a break. So what were you like growing up? Were you an activist from an early age?
No, I was just ordinary. In fact, when I was young, I was mostly barefoot and very happy.
Nozizwe grew up in rural KwaZulu-Natal, the place she still calls home.
And I was in a very happy home.
Her mother was a single parent and educator. For high school, she sent Nozizwe to Inanda Seminary, a private secondary school that rejected Bantu education.
Then I think it was probably around that time that I became aware that to be black was a disadvantage.
In her final year, Steve Biko came to the school. It had a profound impact on the teenage Nozizwe.
He asked me, "What is your name?" I said, "Charlotte," which was my Christian name, the name that my father had given me. And he said, again, "What is your name?" I said, "Charlotte." He said, "But what does your mother call you?" And I said, "Nozizwe." And he said, "That's your name."
And so began Nozizwe's political awakening. She qualified and worked as a medical laboratory technologist and became a mother to Martin, her first son. But it was with the formation of the Natal Organization of Women in 1983 that she truly found her voice.
I sat with a group of women who encouraged me to be a leader. Among them, Nasima Bacha. I remember her saying, "You are going to chair this meeting." And I said, "No, but I've never chaired a meeting." And she said to me, "We will help you." So through that process, I learned to be the leader that I am through the support of other women.
Nozizwe became the leader of the NOW, and like many others, paid a heavy price for her activism. She was detained in solitary confinement for a year, separated from her family and guilt-ridden at having to leave her son. And yet she was drawn to an inner place of solitude, a space that even her captors could never reach.
To discover the inner strength during that time, because you have nobody else. In solitary confinement, it's just you and the people that are your captors.
Fellow NOW member Pregs Govender, now the Deputy Chair of the South African Human Rights Commission, understands the power of silence. She joins Nozizwe today at a Quaker meeting in downtown Cape Town.
The reclaiming of silence, which is empowering, which is freeing. It's the victory that they can imprison her, but her spirit is able to actually move out of that and be able to be who she is today.
Two friends who bonded through political activism, but share a sensitivity to an inward journey. They seek depth to guide them in their choices in life and work.
Slave church. Beautiful.
It's really lovely.
There are all these spaces in the city.
I remember being struck by this tall, beautiful woman. She was very striking. We were single mothers and activists for quite a significant part of that time. This is a photo of Nozi and her son, her oldest son, Mandela Martin. And I think this may even have been when she was released from prison.
After she was released, Nozizwe married her partner, Jeremy Routledge.
Well, we actually disagree on when we met for the first time.
I came out of detention, and the first thing he did was throw a party for me. And then there was no looking back. You look much younger there.
Yeah, I was.
Nozizwe and Jeremy had met as activists, and their friendship had turned to love.
She looks so different now.
I used to think Lobola was
Oppressive.
And now I actually argue against people who do think so, because it's actually really unites the families. It's not just the individuals getting married, it's the families. Yeah.
But would you take a second wife?
Well, I'd think about it.
I won't let you. I've never really seen it as him buying me, because we have a very equal relationship.
Marrying across the colour line was illegal, but they lived openly as husband and wife amidst constant police harassment.
We wanted to demonstrate with our own lives that things could change and had to change in South Africa.
The birth of their son Simon gave powerful expression to that belief. Meanwhile, Nozizwe had been drawn to Quakerism, introduced to it by a friend who was a conscientious objector. In it, she found her spiritual home.
As I was growing up, I started to have a serious difficulty with this way of belief where the God was a very harsh God who punished you severely for making mistakes.
Quakerism is a philosophy with no creed or doctrine. Everyone is equal, and above all else, they promote peace. Silence is used as a source of strength and reflection.
I think she feels at home in Quakerism because she can be fully herself.
Quakers believe that all life is sacred.
We are against all wars. We don't support preparation for war. We also don't support using violence as a solution to problems.
With the arrival of the new South Africa, Nozizwe became a Member of Parliament. In 1999, with Thabo Mbeki's inauguration, her beliefs were put to the test.
So Nozizwe, the country changed. You were still a Quaker. You still had your beliefs. And you were put in a position where you had to make a decision, one which required a leap of faith. What was it?
I remember I had my phone on silent somewhere, and then much later in the day I had a look and I saw there was one missed call. And this missed call was from Kgalema Motlanthe, which of course made me panic because he was my boss. He was Secretary General of the ANC. So I phoned back to return the call, and when he said, "We are asking you to be Deputy Minister of Defence," first I said, okay, I think you've got the wrong number. I think you're looking for somebody else. But when he actually said Deputy Minister of Defence, it was even more strange, because I thought, don't they know I'm a Quaker?